Hello everyone. So today we'll be talking about cloud deployment models, right? So earlier we had a discussion on cloud service model. Now we'll be having a discussion on deployment models, right? So there are basically three type of main deployment models are there. That is your private cloud, public cloud, and hybrid cloud. We do have some other deployment models are also there, like multi cloud is also there, right? So we do have, but there are three main cloud models that you need to understand. So let's understand each one of them. Let's start with private cloud. So private cloud is actually a cloud delivering IT services over the internet that is used by a single organization. So it's quite similar to your setting up your data center, right? What happens in the on premises, you will have your own dedicated hardware, right? That will be there for you. So it's quite same with on premises, you can understand, right? The only difference you can say between on premises and private cloud is in private cloud basically a third party will manage this data center for you, but the hardware will be entirely for you only, right? So interchangeably you can say that it's like your own data center, right? So it's your own dedicated data center. So in what scenario you can go for private cloud? Basically, let's say you have a web application, right, and you want do not want to host it on a public cloud. Basically, let's say Azure is a public cloud, right? Because it is shared by different organizations, right? Let's say you are one of the organization, right, and you also have different organization, right? All of them are actually, let's say, creating a virtual machine, right? They might can land up on the same hardware, right? Because in Microsoft Azure, that is a shared hardware, that is not the dedicated hardware for you, right? But in case of private cloud, there would be a dedicated data center that will be entirely to your company only. So let's say you want to host a web application, so you can host inside your own private cloud, basically, right? So you can host this web application on your private cloud, on your data center only, right? Now let's understand about public cloud. So public cloud, as you can see it over here, right, it provide access to multiple organizations, right? Azure is the best example of it. Like I just give an example, like one organization, and there are multiple organizations are there, right? Let's say ABC, XYZ, different organizations are there. They are all of them leveraging Azure to create their resources, right? So they are basically using the same hardware, right? So you actually in Azure, you share the same hardware, storage, network devices with other organization, right? So that is Azure is a best example of a public cloud, right? Now there comes a hybrid cloud. Hybrid cloud, you can understand, it combines both your public cloud and private cloud as well, right? It provides most flexibility. Might be there are due to some any, let's say, legal requirement, you do not want to go, some of the applications cannot go to the cloud, right? So you can take advantage of both private cloud and public cloud. So that is a combination of both. Hybrid cloud is equal to public plus private cloud, right? Now let's understand. Basically, I will show you this flowchart. This is something I have taken it from a Microsoft documentation, where it's actually telling you the difference. So in public cloud, no capital expenditure to scale up. What exactly the capital expenditure is? CapEx. It is also called as CapEx. Let me show you what exactly CapEx is. So CapEx is, you can see it over here, CapEx or capital expenditure. Basically, you are basically the upfront cost on your physical infrastructure. Let's say you want to create your own data center, right? So building up a data center requires a lot of servers, a lot of hardware you need to have, right? And you need to also have a physical space, right? So that is upfront cost that you need to pay for it. That is actually called as a capital expenditure. So basically in public cloud, as you know, the data center is something not under your control, so you do not need to manage your data center. So there is no capital expenditures are there, right? And applications can be quickly provisioned because you are not taking care about the underlying infrastructure, the hardware, right? So it can be easily provisioned, right? But in private cloud, remember that the hardware must be purchased for startup and maintenance, right? I told you it's like your on-premises data center, so you need to have a basically a space, physical space you need to have. Then you will set up your data center, right? So definitely in that case, you will have complete control over resources, but you're also responsible for any hardware maintenance and updates, right? And hybrid cloud provides the most flexibility, right? Organization determine where to run their application, whether you want to run applications in the public cloud or whether you want to run the applications on the private clouds. It's totally up to you. It may be according to your legal requirements, right? So this is actually a consumption based model, right? Whenever you're going for IT infrastructure models, right? Let's say you want to set up your data center, you want to go with, the public cloud. You need to understand first of all these terms. What is capital expenditure and what is operational expenditure? So capex is basically the upfront cost that you are paying, right? The upfront cost like building up a data center, right? A new building, repaving the parking lot. These are the best example of capex. But operational expenditure, that is your opex, that means there is no upfront cost is there. Pay as you go, right? You always pay whenever you use that service, and after that you're done. Whenever you're not using, let's say on public cloud, you create a virtual machine, right? You're gonna use it, you will pay for it. If there is no requirement as such, what you will do, you will simply say that you basically can delete your virtual machine and you'll not get billed for that, right? So you will be billed only for what you use. So that is pay as you go model, right? That is called as opex, operational expenditure. Now cloud computing falls under which category? Your capex or opex? As we know, your public cloud or cloud computing, you can say, falls under opex. Why? Because we know that it follows the pay as you go model, right? So you do not pay for the physical infrastructure, electricity, security, or anything associated with maintaining a data center, right? Instead, you pay for the IT resources that you're using, like virtual machine or any database that you're using, right? You need to pay for that part only. I hope the difference between these three clouds are clear: the hybrid cloud, public cloud, and a private cloud. Thank you, everyone.